Hot Ice, August 23rd, a loaded show. A lot of headlines. For those of you not necessarily ingrained in baseball every day, there's a lot going on in the league. Guys are tearing it up. Guys are getting hot after trade deadlines. Carl's got a lot of stuff that he brought. So very quickly to open the show, Mets, Yankees, either Mets take this series 3-1, which is weird because it's split over the 4 games. Or the Yankees kind of even it out after getting the best of Scherzer last night. My question, Carl, as a bystander, is this the most notable interleague play rivalry in the whole scape of things? The only one that really can compare is Chicago and Chicago because of the 2 teams. But does anyone else care about interleague play as much as the Mets and Yankees do?
Well, I mean, it's certainly this year too. It's heightened. I would say if all teams are excellent, if every team in Major League Baseball was outstanding, you'd have to put the New York Subway Series as the best interleague matchup. The Cubs and the White Sox one is great, but the Mets and the Yankees are fighting for New York. I know the Yankees have the bigger whatever, but there's more of this equality or dynamic there between the Mets and the Yankees that makes it a better rivalry, where the White Sox and the Cubs will always be the fun-loving, don't care if they lose, and the White Sox will always take things significantly more serious. So I would say that, but also on the West Coast, I don't want to disrespect what goes on with Oakland and the Giants. If those teams are both very good, because those are completely different fan bases who both love their clubs.
That makes sense. Ev, how do you feel about it tonight? Because very quickly, I do have the Mets as we'll kind of ingrain things as we go. I have the Mets as my dog at 108. I think it's jumped to 112. I don't love Walker coming back of what it is, but the Mets are a get-off-the-mat type of team. I worry a little bit that it doesn't mean anything because they moved the ground off the start. But with that said, I do think we're a get-off-the-mat type of team. I'm going to go with the Mets as a dog. So what's your feel as far as tonight?
I do like the over quite a bit. I think it's going to be one of those kind of games. Obviously, I'm much happier seeing Walker over DeGrom. That's huge. We hit the Walker a little bit in that early series. We just need to try to build some momentum. I mean, we got some clutch hits last night. Getting a win over Scherzer was huge. So when you got who I got to give credit to Armand. I said how bad he was when he came back. He has honestly, besides that first start, he has been pretty solid. Another really good showing last night. So that's going to be big for us. Hopefully, keep another good arm in the rotation, and getting a win over Scherzer is massive. But I think it's going to be kind of a wild game. Actually, I'm going to the game tonight. Pretty excited about that. First Yankee game I've got to go to this year. It's been kind of a busy year. I haven't got to go. So, and they're going on they're not going to be home again till I think September 5th after tonight. So I was glad to sneak one in tonight. And a big shout out Game Time, shout out Montgomery.
No, I was just going to say, Rico, if only there was a sponsor that could be dabbling on hot ice right now. This seems like a good opportunity for an organic plug.
I know.
If somebody's listening on that sales team.
Absolutely. I know. We can work that in. I got Game Time tickets Friday night for the Mets Rockies, so row 1. So I'm excited to be there for that. Carl, you got a lot of headlines going on. Do you guys want to go with dogs right now, since we mentioned that real quick, and then kind of dive into the rest of the league? Who do you have on a plus sign, Carl?
Yeah, I think this is a unique opportunity. There's 3 teams that are plus 200 or more today, so we're just rolling everybody up into one parlay. This is a very juicy one. It's nasty. It's a Twins, Nats, Tigers underdog parlay, a 3-teamer that pays out 38-1. Now,
wow. I don't hate that.
If you want to get cute, we're going to add the Pirates, and we're going to add
the Reds.
Lodolo, and the Pirates.
Numbers. Look at those plus signs, motherfuckers.
Those 5 teams, $10. A $10 parlay on these 5 dogs pays out $3,200. Let's put Penn National out of business. We saw the big news, $325 million for the remaining part of Barstool Sports. Let's make sure that money that's coming back to us, all of us that follow Hot Ice. $10, $3,200 for that 5-team dog. You don't get an opportunity like this to get a 5-teamer dog like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I wrote down too. Like Gonsolin is 15-1 going against Burns. Are the Dodgers, is that too good to be true at minus 155? Where else do you get the Dodgers at that low of a price? These dogs are insane. I don't hate that round robin type thing. You hit 2, maybe you hit a 3. These guys could get DeGrom. They could throw a gem and only have 1 run and go to their bullpens in the 7th. So I don't hate that idea of just trying to parlay them, do 2-teamers, 3-teamers, just round robin them and see what happens. Ev, who are you chasing as far as a dog?
So Carlos said one of them. I went for a big dog. I'm on the Tigers today. Shout out Castellani, my guy. I honestly a lot of, like Carl mentioned, a lot of big dogs on the board. I'm seeing a Giants team who is really struggling, especially in the second half. Very low total at 7.5. It's in Detroit. Hutchinson, who not great, but hasn't had the most run support as well. So I think there's a good shot in the Tigers. The Tigers actually not been playing totally terrible, and I think you're just catching a Giants team who's really just kind of sliding off a cliff right now. They're trying to keep it together. I think they're falling way out of postseason contention here. So yeah, I like the Tigers plus. I think I got like 185, 190.
Yeah, I see 185. Of those 5, like going against Robbie Ray and the Nats is probably least of the, going against Verlander with the Twins. We'll get to that on best bets. Philly, I don't know who Philly's starting, but the Pirates are back in Brubaker. Like, I can't jump on him.
I think they're playing Suarez. I think
okay.
Suarez, I believe.
Yeah, he's having an okay year. Of the 5, going against Rondon, and it's the Giants team that we've said just when they win 4 in a row, they come back to earth. Like, this Giants team, I think, is a little checked out. Maybe you go get the Tigers to do something this year because they've been a disappointment as well. Carl, what's kind of under the radar stuff going on around the league? I know you got a conspiracy theory about your buddy in St. Louis. We got a huge one we'll touch on at the end of the show for tomorrow. Like, what are we looking at as far as what people should be looking at? Hey, I'm looking at a West Coast game like MLB TV. What am I firing up? Who should I be looking at?
I think it's really interesting because I thought this storyline, particularly for our New York guys, Yankees fans, saying goodbye to Jordan Montgomery, and he's just been outstanding in 4 starts for the St. Louis Cardinals, 4-0, 25 innings pitched, 13 hits against, 24 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 earned run. And it's just like a culture where a country guy like that, who's just kind of simple and wants to get to the ballpark, do his job, go home. And I think he was able to have success in New York despite immense cultural differences that he just I'm a ball player. Meaning if you put him in an environment where he really feels like home, where he really feels like this is a completely different big league experience for Jordan Montgomery. He's outstanding. I don't know why the Yankees trade this guy. Watch him pitch last night against the Cubs with a 2-seam and a change and elevating his fastball. He's comfortable. He's poised. He's got clean mechanics. I'm a huge fan of Jordan Montgomery and what is also going on in St. Louis, which is very interesting to me. People love to talk about conspiracies with Major League Baseball, performance-enhancing drugs, juiced balls, dead balls, cork bats. Guys, people are saying that Albert Pujols is getting real tight corks. People are saying there's a reason Albert Pujols has the second highest OPS in Major League Baseball since the second half. And I think a lot of the speculation is building up towards them changing out the fucking balls.
They got the special Pujols. They got the special Pujols ball.
Unbelievable. This is true. I don't want to believe it. I don't care. I'm going to bury this conspiracy in the back of my head just so I could sit here and see if he gets to 700 and just feel good about something in baseball. I know this guy ruined me for like a decade when I was a young man, but I part of me wants it to be true, and then part of me never wants to know the truth.
Makes sense. We've touched on it too. It all kind of touches on St. Louis of like, when are they going to get the separation? When are they get maybe Montgomery and Pujols going nuts? All relates to it as well because they have, I think, they had a 5-game lead when they said it, which is, of course, I took credit for. I'm like, I told you to get a 5-game lead. I said it like 2 months ago, so I was just holding that future ticket forever. But I do think they're going to kind of run away with the division, and this might be the difference. Ev, the Cardinals have always been great to you. What are you seeing as far as like, are they head and shoulders above the Brewers now? Is it over, or is this still a race down to the end?
I've always thought they were way better than the Brewers. Like I've been a Cardinals guy for a while. They've kind of almost become my NL team because they've just won for me a lot of gambling. I just appreciate watching them play. It's been heartbreaking watching Montgomery be so good over there because I loved him as a Yankee. That was, of all the moves made, I was very surprised that move happened. I did not think Montgomery was going to get traded. I believe my belief is that somewhere in that trade deadline the ball was fumbled where I believe that move was being made for us to trade for Pablo Lopez from the Marlins, and then obviously didn't happen. I like Bader, but I mean, he's hurt. He hasn't played yet. I'm like, so in a weird, I'm happy for Montgomery because I like him and he was a damn good Yankee. Shout out Gumby. I loved watching him pitch, the big lefty. But I mean, I guess I'm happy for him. And I've been betting on him, so that's worked out. But yeah, and honestly, I like kind of like Carl said with the Pujols thing. There's part of me that almost hopes they're doing it because I have a dark twist in mind. I almost hope that they're like, because I'm such a I'm such a conspiracy guy where I'm the guy that thinks like the government's like snatching people up in like black vans and like you never see them again. So I think this is kind of like that upper echelon, like such high level of like pulling strings, puppeteering that like we can't even like fathom it. We talk about it on a show like this. People in like more like on TV won't even like touch it because it's so ridiculous. I almost want to believe it's true. Carl said he doesn't want to know. I want to know. I want you to tell me, be like, some guy whisper on my ear, like, oh yeah, we're throwing Pujols fucking ping pong balls.
Yeah, the owners own the media wing of Major League Baseball, guys. MLB
sure.
Network, all this stuff. So like it is just as it could take two people. That's all it takes. Because then it's just like, all right, we're gonna do this, and then all of a sudden it's a memo. Hey, when Albert Pujols is in play, we're going to use these balls just because we know the memorabilia value and memorabilia is hot and we want to appeal to our fan base and give them certification on this stuff. Oh, meanwhile, they got Rawlings on the other line being like, yeah, fucking tighter.
On the black phone. Carl, you touched on Montgomery. Can you read off those numbers? Because when you sent it, it was like fake. It was literally like, looks like a fucking Hawaii kid pitching in Williamsport.
And I do want to point out, too, as I go through this, like, I'm a huge fan of second half stats because we've talked about this at All-Star break. Oh, you're a fucking All-Star. He's a 14-time All-Star. It's like, all right, what about the last 70 games this season? What about the last 75 games this season? Nobody wants to talk about that shit. And this is when people are banged up and all that shit. Okay, here's the stats. This is since August, since getting traded. He's made 4 starts. He's 4-0. The Cardinals are 4-0. He's pitched 25 and 2/3 innings, surrendered 13 hits, 3 walks against 24 strikeouts, 1 run. He's pitched to a .35 ERA. He's held hitters to a 149 batting average, a 187 OBP, and probably most important, most stark, his slugging percentage allowed is 184, the exact same slugging percentage as the batting average, meaning he has not yielded an extra base hit in 25.2 innings. He's thrown 377 pitches as a St. Louis Cardinal and has not given up an extra base hit since getting traded away from the evil empire.
Yeah.
And I will add that the moves the Yankees made no Benintendi, Bader, just like you're getting rid of starting pitching. And you're getting like guys are going to hit 7th and 8th. You're not going to win a fucking World Series because you got the best 4th outfielder in the playoffs.
Yeah,
No. I want to. So
revisionist history. They thought they were getting something in Montez.
They didn't check the physicals.
What with Benintendi or Montez?
Montez. Montez.
Well, trust me. When seeing the numbers that he had outside of the A's ballpark scared the shit out of me. I think Castillo was the number 1 guy from day one. I think they just fucked him in that his price became too high for us to pay. We didn't want to pay the price for Castillo, and he's been very good in Seattle. Then, like I said, I think the Montgomery trade was to get Lopez. Listen, obviously it's easy to say now we'd rather kept Montgomery, but Montgomery was good for us to be. It wasn't like he was pitching bad. His ERA was still in like that low 3s. Mid-3s, so I mean he was pitching some good baseball, but Lopez I think was the target, and then that fell through. Bader, I don't know. I think that was a means to an end trade for Lopez, and it just didn't work out. I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm not obviously looking back. I'm not crazy about it. Yeah, but it is what it is.
I mean, it's gotta hurt. Yeah, Gallo found his power too.
That's what I see. The thing with Benintendi, I don't mind it is because. Obviously, we wanted Gallo out. I want like once Giancarlo gets back, I think Thursday, he hasn't played in like a month. I want Aaron Hicks nowhere near this baseball team, nowhere near this lineup, and getting like a Benintendi and maybe a healthy Bader could actually make that happen. Where you could put him in left or put Judge in center, put them in the corners if Bader can get healthy, and then Benintendi's kind of find his way. Where you can either be in that like early, like be in that like that. In my mind, with a line like a fully stacked lineup, they're both kind of back of the lineup guys. With Bader's got some pop. Benintendi, it's good for average, good fielder. And Benintendi, he started slow. He's been finding himself the last like week or so. He's came up with some big hits. Came up with the big hit the other day, big homer. Came up with a big double last night, driving in some runs. So that's starting to work itself out a little bit. I have no problem with those moves. But the Montgomery move obviously is. Nothing you can say about it. Not a good move right now.
I mean, it's, again, like it's revisionist history. Not everything's going to work out as it goes. Best bets real quick. We touched on the Twins and the Astros. I'm going to go to something I've been on the past couple of times. The guy's just fucking nails. I know it didn't hit the last time. I missed it by one. I'm going to go with Verlander strikeouts over 5.5. It's a Twins lineup that I don't necessarily love. I think if he goes 6, he's going to get you 7 or 8 strikeouts. It's just the way he goes. Like, he's got however many innings pitched he has just as many strikeouts. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's going to go get it. I don't love this Twins lineup. I'm going with Verlander strikeouts over 5.5 minus 137. Ev, best bet.
So I touched on it a little bit earlier. It hit the last time they played when I took it. I'm taking the Mets Yankees over. Frankie Montez, I'm not expecting a ton out of him. We hit Walker pretty well last time. I think we get some runs here. I think 8.5's low. I think we see some fireworks in the Bronx.
I know it's a punchline too, but that ballpark, everything that went out to right field last night, I'm like, that's gone.
Yep.
So
that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's
that's
just a big. It's a big power hitters ballpark. Yeah. Carl, best bet.
Hey, Rico, you said Verlander over how many Ks?
5.5.
I'm taking Dylan Cease over 6.5 Ks against the Baltimore Orioles minus 150. Orioles struck out 13 times last night. I'll be honest, Dylan Cease got in the way a little bit of Thursday's hot ice, and that is because the interview started just a little bit late. That's on everybody's technical stuff, but the interview's going along, and we're like getting ready to wrap, and then disc golf comes up. Dylan Cease likes disc golf more than anybody likes anything. The passion. He has a YouTube channel. He's like trying to like become a professional. He plays in tournaments in the off season. It was like, what about your slider? He's like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty nasty. It's like, well, what about your disc golf drive? And he's like, bro, let me tell you something. The leverage you get here, it's one of the funniest interviews. It's out now, starting 9. But I want to parlay off this because Dylan Cease did compromise my experience and participation in Thursday's Hot Ice. And I'd like to apologize to the audience. I'd like to apologize to our co-host. And now I'd like to put it back on Dylan Cease and say, buddy, give me 7 Ks tonight. We're taking it to the bank. And I'm moving. I love this guy. And the last thing I'll say, at the end of the interview, I'm like, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you just strike me as a regular guy who wakes up and happens to throw 100 with the filthy slider and would rather be doing other stuff sometimes. And he was like, I wish I could have said it that better or said it that well. That's exactly who I am.
Ev,
whoa.
That's a regular guy is what's great. It made Arrieta fit right in. Ev, as an innocent bystander who does sit next to me, do you think it's journalistically acceptable for Carl to fall in love with somebody that he just interviewed? Do you ever see me doing that?
No. I mean, I've never seen Rico.
Carl, we're having some fun. I got 14 college basketball.
No, never. I mean,
I think should have the Knicks job.
19 college basketball teams.
You fall in love with these guys. It's tough. You get so I see it. Cease
I know.
Us. We didn't get the pleasure of you Thursday. Cease
owes
us all.
In Alabama, Iowa, Notre Dame,
Brian,
Grand Canyon, fucking fan.
Yeah, I know.
And it is Rico. That's a good point. Thanks for bringing that up because you do get out of these things and you're like, man, I gotta get myself a Kevin Gossman jersey.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough. Let's touch. We obviously got the hit parade, 13.53 units. We took an L last. I think we took 2 in a row.
No, I think just one. I fucked us. Judge didn't come through the last time.
He didn't, but he was on deck too, which is
he
tough.
was on deck in the 9th.
He's back in it tonight. We got a hit parade all-star in Altuve. I'm putting in Trey Turner. It'll be good. We'll get back on the right track. The hit parade speaks for itself.
They just sent the price.
Got it. What do we got?
Plus 225.
Ooh. I don't know how that's legal. Westy's here too. I'm surprised he didn't shut this down. Get 225. That's a fleece,
dude. This is. I'm not even. I have the tendency to exaggerate and get over the top with stuff. This is unbelievable. Plus 225.
Yeah, 225 is a huge fleece. Post show. Let's touch on tomorrow night because I gave him out in the best bet the other day. You talk about a guy who's going berserk. Zach Gallen tomorrow night. Who's he going up against, Carl?
Brady Singer, 4th overall pick a couple of years ago with the Royals. He's having as some would say, breakout season. Big Ev likes him a lot. And this is a guy, if you watched him last year pitch, you'd see electric stuff and you'd see maybe like a guy who would lose it if he gave up a jam shot or just kind of lose focus a little bit. He's so dialed in, and I do think the Royals are turning a corner. if they're competitive next year to the tune of like 79, 81 wins and then kind of taking off because they've got this young core that's very attractive. But anyways, he's pitching for the Royals. They've got momentum. Zach Gallen's going against him. These are two teams that are 20-something games under 500 each. And they're still competing pretty hard. That's because the Diamondbacks play hard, and that's because the Royals have a good young core that's coming up. The pitching matchup tonight might be like the best second half pitching matchup of the season if you take away wins and losses. Brady Singer's pitching to like a 1.6 ERA in the second half. Zach Gallen's at a 0.8. I don't think Zach Gallen's given up a run in his last three starts, and Brady Singer's not far behind him. This is so weird to draw attention to this, but the Diamondbacks Royals on Wednesday night might be the best like these guys are in a groove, ready to rock and roll, and they're not big names. So if you're interested in baseball but sick of fucking listening about Verlander and Garrett Cole and all this stuff, tune in because these two guys are legit Cy Young contenders for like the next 8-9. Like as long as they're healthy, we'll just say that.
Yeah, it's tomorrow night at 8:10. He's not Gallen's going berserk. He's 9-2. I touched on it, and again, like this is. These are the guys that you can watch and get value on because Verlander's strikeouts at 5.5 is 137. Gallen, again, the books, we obviously know what we're doing and we're setting prices and they're all accurate. But I say it all the time, like with college football and college basketball, these under the radar teams, you can nail a guy early. I know Ev is on these, like, especially teams, like, watch this team. They got a good lineup. Baseball is the biggest watch it sport. Like, I think you could take somebody out of bed who didn't watch an NFL game on Sunday or missed a week and be like, and still kind of have success. Baseball, I think you do need to watch these games to go find these gems. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. That'll be.
We've been talking about the Orioles all season, Rico. We've been talking.
Yes.
I love that point. And Ev, you're so good at. I want to echo this. It's been such a great storyline at Hot Ice to talk about this value because traditionally with baseball, -1. Oh, I like -160. Oh, I like that. No, fuck that. Take the 38-1 best dog of the day parlay.
Yeah, even splits too. Like you get a team as a dog on the road. I know we give out dogs every day. You get a team on the road as a dog, and like, hey, they hit the ball just as well on the road as they do at home. Like, start looking at that. Like they shouldn't have a plus sign in front of them. It's not. I know they're not playing at home, but they're just as good. So like, looking at all that stuff. Ev, what's you got anything on the radar? Or what are you looking at as far as tomorrow night, like different things like that, kind of close it out? What's on the menu tonight? How many chains?
What's
the jersey?
I always got one showing.
Okay.
Yankees fitted with World Series patch will be on the hat later. Me and one of my best friends growing up will be wearing matching ones. No jersey, just in the Hawaiian shirt as I do. Definitely, if I had a jersey on me, it would sure be on. Probably 3 or 4 buttons undone. Couple beers in me. A couple get the fuck out of my ways. The fuck was that? Who knows? With the Mets Subway Series, it gets crazy. You never know.
All right, so
might have to restrain myself a couple times. We'll see.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Met fan. I'm going against you tonight, but we always end on like us laughing as we go. So. All right, so I'll give you this, Ev. Because I want the best. Let's go. I'm trying to pump you up because you guys need the game more than us. We're good. You guys are skidding. So, long fly ball by Aaron Judge clears the right field fence. Let's see your best because that'll hit the hit parade too. So I am rooting for that. Let's see your best. What's the fan reaction? Let's go live to Ev in the stands. What's the reaction?
It's got to be. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it in your bones.
Let's go! Give me a clap. Let's go!
It's got to come from your
fucking thoughts.
It's got to come from your ball sack.
All right, fine.
Then it's got to come from your nutsack up the ear like this.
Then you owe us
upper body.
You owe us. Your buddy is hired tonight.
Let's fucking go!
All right, I need to know.
Ball sack. You can't. It's fucking. You gotta feel it. I had a method. I had to get in the mind. I had to see the ball flying over fucking center field into the black.
That's a good one. I want a real reaction tonight. I want that video sent to me tonight.
You know what? I'm betting. You know what? This is a little special. Judge is going deep tonight. That's what's happening.
All right, even better.
He's hitting the fucking home.
Just when I think
he hadn't hit one in 9 games. He hit one last night. When Judge hits him, he hits him in bunches.
Yep. Just when we're together, he pulls us apart. That's Hot Ice. Go check out Starting 9 with our new friend Dylan Cease. That's how we roll here. Hit Parade is up. Plus 225. Let's get going. Pick Central next on the Barstool YouTube.
It's going to be fired up. I can feel I'm gritting my teeth.